Hello, I'm Lisa Quinn. I'm an executive and personal coach, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about values and how knowing and honouring your own values can help you live a life that's more fulfilled. Values are the things that make us tick. They're who we are when we're at our best. They're not who we want to be in the future. They're who we are right now, and they are things like honesty and fairness and family and connection. Your own values will be really distinct to you. So even if you have some of the values that I've just mentioned, which are some of my own values, the way that you interpret them and what they mean to you will be entirely personal. So we may share a value of family, for example, but what that means to you will be very different to what it means to me. You'll notice when I'm talking about values, I put my hand on my chest, and that's because values are feelings. They are things that we feel, and typically when we're honouring them, when we're living them, we feel more fulfilled. One great way of identifying your own values is to think of a moment in your life when things were particularly sweet. So I'm going to do this with you now. You might want to put your feet on the floor. You might want to close your eyes, because sometimes when we close our eyes it can help us focus a little bit more. It turns off some of the stimulation to our brain. And then I want you to think about a specific moment in time when life was sweet. And it's really important that that moment is quite fleeting. It's almost like a snapshot. You want it to be momentary rather than a kind of a week-long holiday. It might be a specific moment on that holiday instead. So try and think about a moment in time when things felt particularly good to you, where you felt quite fulfilled. And I want you to think about who you were with. What was your impact on them? What were you being? What were the sights and the sounds and the smells that you were experiencing? All of these things can be pointers to you about what's important to you. And when you've got that moment, you can open your eyes again. You might want to take some notes about it. And you just want to try and explore what values you might have been experiencing at that time. What was going on for you? Just have a think. Because it's likely that in that moment you were living or honouring one or more of your values, of the things that you hold dear to you. And when we know our own values, they can act as a blueprint for us. They're a bit like a compass for us. If we follow it, if you follow them, we won't go wrong. We'll live a life that's fulfilling. And you'll notice that I'm saying fulfilling rather than happy, and there's a reason for that, because ultimately things happen in life. I'm recording this video in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. Life is really challenging for us, and so it's unrealistic to expect that our life is going to be happy 100% of the time. But we can aim for fulfillment. And if we're living a life that's in accordance to our values, the things that really matter to us, the things that we hold dear, the likelihood is that we're going to feel fulfilled. So once you've identified what some of your values are, you can start thinking about how you're honouring them in your life today. You can start thinking about, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I have a value of fairness, for example, how do I feel I'm doing when it comes to that value? And if I'm, say, a 2 or a 3 or a 4, where do I want to be? Do I want to be a 5 or a 6 or a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or a 10? Again, it's completely personal because it depends where you are on the scale. And then you can start thinking about the things that might move you up the scale, the things that might take you from a 4 or a 5 to a 6 or a 7, what those things are that you can put in place. So I hope that's been helpful. It's a very brief introduction to your values, but hopefully it's helped you identify what some of your values might be. I'm also going to include a document alongside this video, so if that exercise exercise didn't work for you, you can do a little bit more work on what some of your values might be. I hope that's been helpful. Stay well, take care. Bye bye.